I'm back with another case study. There's a real couple that I work with that has north of $4 million, and I want to show you how we can help them optimize. Now, I know a lot of you don't have $4 million yet. Some of you go, I've got $10 million. I have different case studies based on the different assets you have, so I invite you to certainly watch today's video because you're going to learn even if you don't have 4 million yet or if you have more than that. But if you want to see a specific case study, I've got a $500,000 case study. I have a $1 million case study. I have a $10 million case. I have a lot of different case studies because I have a wide range of clients and I want to create as much helpful information for you guys. So here's what prompted today's video. Normally I'll highlight a single comment. This is rare because I'm highlighting a whole thread. So look at this first comment. This was 4 months ago on this video right here saying I have $5 million, I'm 59, how can I optimize? And so Bob Ackerman 54 says, if you help every $5 million investor, you've helped a very small percentage of the population. Best of luck. And Bob's right. And I don't work with everyone. There's a lot of people that specialize in debt and that's not my specialty. I specialize helping people that have saved and invested well or want to be in a position to retire early, and it's not for everyone. I then comment, hey, thank you. Try to make videos for everyone. I've got, very basic videos on, hey, what accounts do I use, Roth IRA, brokerage, etc., that my clients are normally sending to their children or friends so that they can still get guidance. And then very specific videos in depth about conversions and harvesting and all this retirement stuff. So then C. Francis, 1968 replies, he goes, hey, true, but for every video you post, you help a very large percent of us do-it-yourself planners, those that either don't need an advisor full-time but still want guidance. So I'm like, hey, thank you. And then Tim Sands 1170 says, on behalf of the 2%, we thank you. Advice to the rest, numbers are numbers. We can always learn by listening and applying them to ourselves. Live below your means and be deliberate and you will achieve success too. I believe that entirely. So just wanted to highlight this thread. Thank you for all of the comments. Of course, some of the highlights and comments that came in were not this nice, but it is my job to try to help as many of you guys as possible, and that's why I love doing this. So let's hop in. My name is Ari Taublieb. I'm a certified financial planner. I'm the host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and I'm the vice president here at Root. If you're looking for more guidance on investing, tax strategy, withdrawal rates, healthcare, estate planning, insurance, I do it all, and I invite you to subscribe. So I changed the names just to preserve their identities, but very real couple, Harold and Casey, 61 and 62 years old, with a child who is 26 years old. So when they first came to me, they weren't like, we hate our jobs, we want to be done, but they were like, we'd like to be able to know when work is truly optional. And so they were saying, could we be done at 63, 61, but we don't really know. This was years ago. They're very frugal people. That's why they have what they have right now. And if they're watching this, they said, hey, Ari, it's cool to use, just change our names. And I told them, hey, listen, if you spend this amount of money, $4,000 a month, you are going to pass away with way too much money. And I'm going to explain to you the issue with that. And they said, no, we'd like to travel, not forever, but if we had $25,000 a year, we'd really love to do that. Healthcare was a big concern for them. They're like, listen, we don't want to retire too early because we don't know how much that's going to cost. And I have clients spending $1,500 a month, and I have clients spending $50 a month. And then when we are planning for college goals for them, they have a child that went back for grad school. So they wanted something just, hey, what do we think? We don't know how much support we want to give, but if we wanted to give $28,000 a year, are we even in a position to do that? And so some of you are going to watch this right now and go, what are we even debating here? They've got, plenty of money, and I'm going to show you exactly how much they have. Why are they even considering this? When you've saved and invested well, you don't just flip a light switch and become an amazing spender, because everyone in the back of their head is going, hey, am I going to run out of money? And I don't want to run the risk of that being the possibility. And I'd rather work 1 year or 2 or 5 years if it meant I would truly never run out, which is why I tell everyone I am the meanest advisor. I'm not actually mean. I just don't want you to run out of money too early and go, why didn't I work 6 more months? And I don't want you to be 80 pissed at me going, Ari, what the heck? I've got $20 million. I told you I didn't want to die with this amount of money. So what is this couple specifically working with? They've got $300,000 in the bank. In terms of investment accounts, they have Roth IRAs, 2 of them, and then a rollover IRA with $2.6 million. So they just switched jobs, no longer have a 401k. They have a home with a mortgage, and they're like, listen, we just want to know, what are we on track for? Can we optimize? What should we think about? What don't I know? And so before I even go through all this with them, which I'm going to go through with you, I'll start on this page here. And by the way, everything I'm showing you guys right now, if you're like, I want this type of guidance, I want to play around with this stuff, you can. It's in my academy, so you can see it right here. This is for people that want their own guidance, meaning they want to be their own advisor, but they want help along the way, and they want access to all these tools that I play around with. So I'll tell someone, hey, let's pretend you're the most unlucky investor ever. And you're like, why would we do that? I go, what if markets drop? Like you retire and markets just go down immediately. And Social Security just gets reduced and inflation's way higher than we think and returns are way lower and you live longer than you think and healthcare goes up. And now not all those things are not going to happen. But even if all of those things happened, what position would you be in? And start to stress test, okay, even if I am the most unlucky investor ever, would I still not run the risk of running out? And there becomes a point where people are too conservative with this and kind of move all the levers. And then it's, well, yeah, you're never going to be able to retire if everything truly goes against you. But it's what are we going to do to understand, hey, is this a reasonable plan? Can we confidently retire based on these factors? Now, I'm going to tell you my dopey story real quick before I show you what this couple's on track for and the guidance I gave them. Someone came to me, this was months ago. They said, Ari, I have a Monte Carlo analysis that I've done. I ran the simulations and it shows that I have a 99% chance of success. I said, great. It's almost 100. You should go retire. They're like, I don't know. I go, what don't you know? It's pretty high. And they go, I don't know. I don't feel it. I mean, I know the spreadsheet says that and the numbers and it looks good. And I use New Retirement, which is that fancy tool people use. I go, yeah, and it looks good. But I think I know what's going on. They go, what? I go, what's the inflation assumption in the plan? They go, I don't know. Does it assume you implement conversions or healthcare subsidies? I don't know. Does it assume you implement charitable giving? And how much would you like to give at the end? They go, it doesn't do that stuff. I go, you have a fake 99. You have a 99 that feels good. It looks good. My number would be lower, but my number would be a real number because it's designed to take into account all of this and stress test to this level of degree. And then even then, I have clients with $10 million. I go, yeah, you can't retire. I'm like, what do you mean? I have $10 million and my neighbor has $2 million. They retired. I go, oh yeah, you don't know what the heck you're going to do. You don't have a plan for healthcare. Roth conversions need to be implemented. So it's not this black and white cookie cutter approach. Okay, so here's what they're on track for. Right now, assets about $3.5 million. Now, north of that, because they have equity in their home and they have bank accounts, but I don't include that. So they've got $3.5 million and they're on track for $6 million. And they made it very clear to me, I do not want to die with $6 million. They do not want to leave too much to their child because their child is the type of person that will be more stressed to have more money and they're going to feel poorly and don't know what to do with it. So they want to leave enough, but they want to leave it in a certain trust where there's details involved. So here's them going, I don't want to run out and this is too much to leave behind. So what am I on track for? Now, I just put in here, what if they're both spending $5,000 a year each on healthcare until Medicare kicks in? But what if that's not the case? Which, by the way, I've seen it be more than that. Now, I've seen 30,000 is the most I've ever seen, but let's assume it was $20,000 a year that they had to come out of pocket and pay for from now all the way until Medicare begins. Well, yeah, they would have 500,000 fewer dollars. Now they'd still have 5.5 million instead of 6 million, but that's number one. I'll always start with what's in your control, what's out of your control. Then I'll ask them, hey, we need to dream big here. They go, listen, if we didn't have a mortgage in retirement, which they want to consider paying off, well, $4,000 a month, that would allow us to pay for bills and groceries and we'd be good. We want to spend more on travel, but we'd be good. I said, okay, so if we can't really increase this number because it wouldn't add more quality of life, what if you could take more trips? They go, we're really just not big travelers. I'm just being honest with you. I go, okay, are there any things that you kind of always wish you would have purchased but didn't? They go, well, a Porsche would be nice. I go, great. I'm forcing you to buy a $250,000 Porsche. And they stop me and go, no, I don't need that level. I go, I know, just humor me. If you bought a $250,000 car tomorrow, here's what it would mean. $1.1 million, meaning you spending $250,000 today is $600,000 you otherwise could have had. And they're like, oh, should I not do it? I go, no, you would still be okay. You're still looking at millions of dollars. Now, let's assume they're also the most unlucky investors ever. And we're assuming moderate growth. What if we get conservative growth? What if markets just don't perform well for the next, considerable amount of years? Well, now what's happening is we're doing well and all of a sudden we're still able to meet all of our living expenses. And yeah, there are less dollars at the end. There's still $3 million, but they're okay. So this couple's going, okay, I'm in a pretty good spot. And that's when I'll pause and say, you're going to get killed. They're like, what do you mean? I go, let's assume you do all this stuff I talk about, this and this. And I go, what's going to happen? This graph, and I'll tell this to everyone. I go, I wouldn't let my mom retire on this graph. You're like, why not? It looks like it's pretty in-depth and pretty cool and pretty powerful. I go, yeah, it's powerful, but it's unrealistic in my opinion, because it assumes markets just keep going up, and even if it's conservative, it's just, hey, it's not going to look like this. This is not what retirement really looks like. Retirement really looks like this, which is withdrawal rates. It looks like, here's a couple right now that if they're working today, so they don't need their portfolio. But once they do, and they want to spend everything I'm asking them to spend on the Porsche and the this and the that, they're going to be forced to live off of their portfolio, which would have a withdrawal rate of 3.7%. That is too low for me. That is them dying with way too much money. So right off the bat, they could increase this. What if they wanted to spend $60,000 a year on travel? Well, what's going to happen is when they spend $60,000 a year on travel, we refresh this. Watch what just happens here. Well, now their withdrawal rate's higher, 4.5%, because they're spending a lot more. I actually like this. Now, there becomes a point where I go, it's a little higher than I would like to see here. But even if it's for a short period of years, it doesn't cause me to lose sleep for my clients, because if we're taking out a good amount of money out of our portfolio, but markets are doing well, okay, well, that's different than taking this amount out of your portfolio when markets are not doing well. And then you see a big jump here, like, hey, we're going to buy a Porsche in a certain year or something like that. So then I want them to understand that these are the years they have their energy and health. So I want them spending. Now, they don't want to spend this amount of money anyways, but my job is to help them not die with $6 million, but not run out. If we fast forward to the future here, their withdrawal rate's going to be so low because they're spending less and they have Social Security now. So now they're not only spending less, they have an additional income source, which means less is coming from the portfolio, which means it's going to be growing a whole lot faster. So when someone comes to me and goes, hey, what am I on track for? This is what I'll start to show them. Now, what if we go with kind of the original plan? $25,000 on travel. Yeah, they still get to buy the Porsche and they do all this. Well, they're still going to get crushed by taxes. And so the value of doing things like Roth conversions, which once again, you guys can play around with the tools I'm playing around with here, is if we're doing Roth conversions and we're intentionally paying a little bit in taxes, it's to avoid paying a lot in taxes in the future. So what we're looking at here, this light blue, sky blue, cyan or cayenne, however you say that, like from the printers back in the day, 10% bracket here. Green is 12% bracket. This tan is 22%. This orange up here is 24%. This is us saying, hey, should we play around with filling up certain brackets to try to take advantage of different income sources? And hopefully what you're seeing, I'm going to show it to you right now, but they're on track right now. Here we are, they're making money. Money's going to drop because all of a sudden it's, hey, we can live off of cash or other accounts. And then all of a sudden, well, now we need our IRAs and Roth IRAs to generate income. So now income is required, and then it jumps up again here when their required distributions are going to start. So here's someone going, hey, I don't know how to optimize this. And if you fill up the 10% bracket, it's going to help. It's going to add a few $100,000, and you're going to want to do that down here when your income drops. But what if we keep going? What if we fill up the 22% bracket? Well, if we do that, we're going to literally generate almost $1 million in more tax-free income by moving money from their IRA to their Roth, so they're not paying as much in the future. People go, oh, that's cool. Let me do more. And people want to do too much more. Watch this. That $810,000 just dropped by $200,000 because we tried to convert too much. So you don't want to make the mistake of being like, oh, let's just do Roth conversions. It would actually be better to do nothing at all. And I have people that come to me and go, Ari, I kind of already executed the conversion. They do it with attitude. I'm like, I wish you did nothing, because now we have to fix the mistake of you trying to convert too much. And that's the level of detail that I want to go into with my clients. So if this is the type of tool you're looking for and this type of guidance, it's what we love doing. Wanted to paint you a case study of, hey, how would someone like this even think through this? But this couple's in a great spot. They're going to need to spend more because they don't want to leave too much behind. And right now, I would encourage them to really dream big, implement conversions, doing this type of planning, not today because they're still working, but consider retiring earlier. I'd want to have a really in-depth healthcare conversation more than anything with them, because I can tell it was causing them the most, what I call head trash of, yeah, I think I'm in a good spot, but what about healthcare? Or I think this, but how am I going to tackle this? So that's what I'd want to selfishly do a meeting with them on, and I already have. But this is the type of planning we do for our clients. So if you're looking for this level of holistic guidance, it's what we love to do. I invite you to reach out. If you go, this is cool, I don't really want an advisor, I don't feel like I need one, and I love this, I want to be an advisor, and the idea of reading tax law in retirement is cool, maybe check out the Academy, and that might be more helpful for you if you want to play around with your own projections. So that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you like it. Please do share it with someone who you think can benefit from it, and I'll see you next time.